friends, it's Amy here, and today I want to talk to you about giving yourself permission to transition. If you're currently in a place where you had a business that was working or that looked on the outside like you've got everything, running and you're successful, you've reached that point, where everyone kind of wants to get to, but on the inside you're just like, I just want to burn everything to the ground and go hide in a hole with Netflix, then this video is for you, because I've been through a number of transitions in my business, and I know I had a really big one in 2016, and it kind of knocked me for six because I was really having an identity crisis and started to think, maybe I'm not made for business, maybe I should just stop everything, and that actually wasn't the case. What was happening was I was having a natural evolution into the next step, and I want to share with you three main things that I learned in that process and how you can navigate a transition with more grace. And instead of burning your business to the ground, which is kind of what I did, you can actually burn the rules to the ground and rise from the ashes like a phoenix, right? So the very first thing to remember when you are transitioning your business, you're either, wanting to completely change your focus, you want to totally change what you're offering, your business model, who you're working with, or anything like that, is to release all the judgment and the beliefs and all the stuff that you are probably making this all mean about yourself. Right? I can see you, and it kind of comes up around, or it sounds like maybe I shouldn't be in business. Why am I changing again? I should have had this all sorted by now. When's it all going to come together for me? Like blah, 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 blah. All of that stuff, allow it all to come to the surface first of all, and just invite it or instruct it to kindly fuck off. But you can say things like, I now uncreate, destroy, and de-story all of it. I had to run these kind of clearing statements over and over again on a daily basis at some points, because there was just this avalanche of everything I was making being in a period of transition again mean about me, who I thought I was, what I thought I could become, who I thought I'd never be, and all of that stuff. So first up, let all of that shit just drop, because it's a natural phase in your business and personal growth. Because if you think about it like this, when you are a baby, you go through a number of different growth stages as we grow from a baby up until an adult. So the first 7 years is often known as that imprint period, where we're literally just downloading operating systems and information. Sound familiar? When you started your business, you were likely all about kind of, how do I do this and that, and technology and ads and blah, 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 and all the kind of, the how-to of your business. The next stage in life growth from 7 to 14 is typically called the modeling period. So it's when children will look to their peers and older kids, and they'll learn how to behave and who to be based off of what they're doing. And it's very natural, right? Same thing happens in business. We end up looking to our idols and following their blueprints and all of this kind of stuff. So the phase after this kind of modeling phase is often known as like socialization, or you're just growing into more of an adult. So kind of 14 to 21 is another really important growth stage, where you kind of complete your development, if you like. We're deemed to be a real fully grown adult at about 21, mentally especially. And that's when you really come into your own. So what I suspect is probably going on is you're likely going through a transition from modeling phase into much more of your coming into your own, or maybe you're having little spirals within that latter period. Because what's usually going on is that you've learned all these different systems and how to be and ways to do your business model, and something just ain't sitting right with you. Maybe it's because you want to change what you're doing, you've had, more growth within yourself, you want to change who you're working with, blah, blah, blah. But it's really, really natural. That's what I want you to hear. And it's often common to just make it mean that, it's all damned and you should just burn it to the ground and go hide in a hole. And a lot of people who go through this period of time, obviously money will be a thing that can come up as being a real solid indicator that, whoa, we're in flux. And another thing that I just want to share with you is that there is no shame whatsoever in looking after yourself financially by any means that you need to. If that means going to get a job, it can actually be a really good break mentally to get away from the chaos of what might be going on and to just take care of yourself. I see so many people beating themselves up about the fact that they had a business, 6-figure business or above, and all of a sudden now it's just kind of gone. and you're making it mean loads of stuff. So be shameless in this period of time and allow yourself to do work that maybe wasn't what you originally intended. It doesn't mean anything. It's just taking care of yourself, right? So now we've got that bit out the way. Step 2, or my kind of tip number 2, is about how do you transition through this? How do you navigate through it in a way that allows you to maybe not burn everything down? Well, the truth of the matter is you're going to need to start to tell the truth with yourself so that you can actually see what's really going on. Because up until the point that you really understand for yourself, have identified what's the problem here or what doesn't feel good anymore, then you can do something about it, right? So the first step is telling the truth about what you can really see, what you're really experiencing, and what you really feel about what's coming up for you. And noticing what's happening in your body, because your body is going to tell you so much about how you are really translating what's happening. Because you can be thinking one thing, but your body's saying another, and the truth of the matter is that your body doesn't lie. Now, if you want any support in how to understand and interpret maybe what's happening for you, head on over to my website, irunthisship.com, and you'll find on there a guide for how to work through resistance, and it's got in there a body chart that can give you some really good ideas about what might be coming up for you. So for me, I had all of these pains and problems in my hands and my arms, and I talk a lot with my hands anyway. I must have like a secret Italian in me. But what was happening was I was moving into more mindset work, and of course with that comes a lot of the energy of other people, right? As opposed to dealing with more strategy and more kind of mental stuff. Now I was working in more of the emotional stuff, which is what I really wanted to do, but along with that came people's stuff. And I remember being like, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle all of this. And that was what was gumming up the whole transition for me. And the keys came through my body, and my body was telling me what was happening. So check in for yourself. What is the truth of what you are experiencing and seeing? How do you really feel? And allow your inner bitch to come out. If you need to get really judgy about stuff and point the finger and be like, that's crap and this crap and these people, blah, 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 do it. For a period of time, it can be really helpful. But then take full responsibility and be like, I'm actually creating all of this, so what do I want to do next? So then how do you actually figure out what is going to change, or what is it that you want to do? There are some tools that can be really, really effective. One of them is the Gene Keys. If you're not familiar with it, it is an amazing wisdom teaching which gives you a personalized printout of your consciousness that can help you understand your purpose on this planet. And I'm not talking about what specific job or business you're here to do, but I'm talking about the underlying principles of the gifts that you have, like literally embedded in your DNA. It's an amazing tool. Definitely go check it out. But the other tool is the classic Venn diagram of the sweet spot. So that Venn diagram is the combination of 3 key areas which really help you to be in your genius, but also in a place where you really enjoy and can prosper from. And that is comprised of how much you love what you're doing, how skilled and confident you feel in what you're doing, and also how much value that brings to the marketplace. And I have found without a doubt and without fail that this Venn diagram, when you go through it and ask yourself the questions, can give you the insights as to what is it that's actually feeling out of kilter for you, and what gets to be realigned to create that balance and harmony again in your business so you can move forwards. So the very first area is love or passion. So ask yourself and be honest and take a real inventory of how much do you actually love what you're doing, who you're working with, what you're offering, how you're delivering it, the business model, all of it. And be honest, right? And then you want to look at how confident or skilled or congruent do you feel, and ultimately how good are you at the thing that you're currently doing. And it might be that you have evolved your understanding and you no longer feel that you're any good at the thing that you were doing. Or maybe there's a skill set that always needs to be upgraded for this to become a lot more fluid and easy for you. I remember at one point when I was just like, oh my God, this is so hard. But what was actually going on was I just found copywriting and communicating in the written form to be so arduous. And if you're on social media, that's a massive skill set that needs to be there for it to be, easy and fluent for you to market and sell your stuff. So it was just a feedback that I needed to upgrade a skill set. So then the third area then is about how much value does what you're doing provide in the marketplace. And so if you can get feedback on this one by, are people easily buying it? Or are you getting lots of feedback of people really wanting more of it? You know, they're enjoying it, that kind of stuff. What I personally found when I was going through my transition, which kind of sounds like I was having a sex change, but that's not that's not what was happening, transitioning my business focus, was that I was feeling very confident in my skill sets. I was very good at what I was doing, and it offered a lot of value, but I didn't love doing it. And that was the place when I got to realign it and go, okay, well, what is it that I want to do? When I did think about what do I want to do, which was much more of the internal game, working with people a bit further along in their business and people who really were ready to scale but were having all the wobbles around that, then it brought up another set of new blocks. So I did the exercise again and I realized, okay, I love doing the internal game and I feel really skilled in it, but I was questioning, do people want this? Like, is it something of value? And so the feedback that I got from that was then that, well, my old audience wouldn't have bought this, but the new audience, the people I really want to work with, do. And so using that just classic Venn diagram can be really helpful in helping you identify what's actually going on for you and what gets to change in order for you to come back into balance. So I hope you found this helpful. If you want more videos like this, then come on over to irunthisship.com and sign up for updates over there, or subscribe here on YouTube to get access whenever I post anything new. I hope you found this helpful. I will speak to you very soon. I'll catch you next time. Bye.